Elden Ring Nightreign is a pretty good game when you're not a whiny little loser. Unfortunately, I am a YouTuber, so it kind of comes with the territory. Man, that's heavy. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything wrong with Nightreign, with there being one specific thing that ruins everything. Well, stop filming me struggling. Play the intro. Okay, so we're going to start this video a little differently than I would normally. I'm going to start by going over what I'm not going to be critiquing when it comes to this game, because, respectfully, some of you are morons. Like, sure, there is a lot to be said about a game studio spending the last 20 years crafting games for the I'm alone and I want to feel something crowd, turning around and making a game that requires you to have friends. But the response I've been seeing people have to the F word has been mind-boggling. Elden Ring Nightreign is a 3-player co-op roguelite, and despite this and this being everywhere in the marketing, a lot of people were still gobsmacked when they were unable to go at it alone. Like, I get it, you love chocolate chip ice cream, but when the game is literally called Choc Chip Peppermint, developed by from the people that made Choc Chip and marketed as Choc Chip Peppermint, is a reimagining of the Choc Chip experience. Take down the peppermint lords and end the pepper in the mint as one of many mint people. It seems a bit moronic to look at this and go, but where's the but I don't like peppermint. I didn't think that when I bought Choc Chip Peppermint that I'd have to eat the peppermint. Why didn't they make it that I can ignore the peppermint and just enjoy the chocolate chip? Before we delve into the more critical elements of this video, let's get a brief rundown on how the game works and how a general run of the game unfolds. Elden Ring Nightreign is a 3-player co-op roguelite that sees you spend 2 days preparing for a boss that will become available on the 3rd day. The idea is that you travel across the lands of Limveld in the hopes of collecting healing items, weapons, gear, stat boosts, power-ups, and kill enough enemies for you to level up, with the max level being 15. Unlike Elden Ring, where you get to make your own playable character that can specialize in anything you'd like, Nightreign has you pick from 8 characters that already come equipped with a fighting style they specialize in. You have the Wilder flinging around the map with a grapple hook who casually brandishes a brick of C4. There's the sentient Beyblade called Guardian, whose special ability is to transform into a predator missile. Iron Eye, FromSoft's first ever viable archer. The Duchess, a high dexterity build character who would collapse and die from the sheer thought of wielding a colossal sword. Raider, who specializes in colossal weapons, whose special ability is weaponized constipation, who can shit out a brick so large it can be used as cover. Revenant, an anxiety-riddled orphan's wet dream who can summon her family members to fight her battles for her. Recluse, the character with the big pair of spells. And Executor, the character I'm not going to make a furry joke about. Hey, get your hands off me! No, stop! You can't make me! Each character has what's called a remembrance, which is a story that can unravel while you play, which offers a pinch of story in a game not overly rich in it. Your mission is to defeat all 8 of the Night Lords and bring an end to the ever-encroaching night, which is pissing down from the sky, turning my teammates into liabilities. Your average run, as long as nothing goes wrong, which, let's be honest, honest, there's always something going wrong. You pick what Night Lord you want at the hold, you are dropped off in Limveld, and your run begins. Between runs, you can buy power-ups from vendors, chat with other characters in the hold, and make the perfect build using relics to ensure yourself a good time in the lands between. Sounds like a pretty good game, and it is. No, you didn't hear that wrong. Elden Ring Nightreign is a good game. Until you bump into its problems. Oh, what's that last one, you ask? Oh, don't worry. We'll get to that last one real soon. Let's start with... Relics are some of the most fun you can have with Nightreign, but they're also a nightmare. As your run comes to an end, whether you win or lose, you will be rewarded with relics. Relics are color-coded stones that power up your character in ways that can aid you during your run in the lands between. Plan on fighting a Night Lord with a weakness to holy damage? Set yourself up with a build designed for holy damage. Playing Guardian and you want to support your team? Have some cheeky fun and max out all relics on your art gauge. The possibilities for mixing and matching relics are limitless. But that's not to say that it's unbalanced. Chalices are color-coordinated relic holders, and depending on what chalice you have equipped, it will limit you to specific colors. This, as a whole, is a great system, and a fun way for players to still feel like they are progressing even when they fail to complete a run. However, trying to find the relics you want when you have hundreds of them is a f***ing joke. Let's consider the example I gave before. If you know that the Night Lord you want to beat is weak to holy, you might want a weapon that starts off with holy damage. Maybe you saw that one of your relics also, a few runs back, gives a +2 to powering up holy attacks. That's great! Let's equip those relics and show that Night Lord who's boss. Yeah! I swear it was red. No, it's not red. Okay, maybe it's a blue? No, hold on, no, I'm not ready. I said I'm not ready, I'm looking through all my fucking rocks. There is no way to filter through your relics. If you're looking for that cool relic you saw 5 runs ago that offered your armament poison for the start of the run, and you don't remember what color it was, you are fucked. There is always the argument that you can sell off useless relics and manage the amount that you have, but you don't know what's going to end up being useful until you need it. So for me, I would sell all of my small relics and keep my medium and large ones. Small relics offer 1 perk, whilst medium offer 2 and large offer 3. And because I sunk 50 runs into the game and each run gives 3 to 6 relics, not to mention the ones that I bought myself, looking through all of them is a nightmare. What's more frustrating is that I lied to you. There is a filter system, and it's completely useless. You can filter by color, by size, and by the ones you favorited. But you aren't looking for a specific color of gem. You're looking for a relic that does holy damage so that you can see what color it is, and you'll find a chalice to match. There are 2 easy means of fixing this. 1, add more filters, or 2, add a search bar. If I'm looking for holy related items, let me filter by holy, or let me search the word holy and boom, I'll be able to see all of the colors that I have to work with and can select a chalice that can match what I have on offer. Instead, it's just this for 5 minutes. Now, in my opinion, despite me bitching right now, this isn't too big of a deal. Yes, it's dragging out the boring elements of the game, but it's not like it's miserable. You're perfecting the small details of a build so that you can be useful to your team. And that's the problem, your team. When you're ready to go and your mate's still sifting through his 437 relics for the one that enables him to tickle the boss's balls for 0.5 more damage, it gets a tad annoying. You just got home from work. You just cooked for your family. You have 1 hour before you have to go to bed, meaning you can fit 1 run in, and Henry is still sifting through his relics 10 minutes after you surprised him with what boss you're going after. What's worse is, the communication of what these relics do is bullshit. Not having more filters to find what you need is a disaster that holds you back from having the fun you know you're going to have once you get into Limveld. And not being able to identify what any of these stats even do makes you worried that your build might not actually be as versatile as you think it is. Alright guys, we finally made it into Limveld. Where should we go first? We interrupt this video to let you know that this is a robbery. You want the video to continue? Then put all the money in the bag! These videos are a lot of fun to make, but they're also kind of expensive. So I'd like to talk to you all about my Patreon and my YouTube memberships. Now, if everyone was willing to give me their money, I wouldn't have to spend so much time robbing banks in order to make these videos happen. Well, that's not good. Patreon pledges and YouTube memberships offer a wide variety of benefits and rewards, like behind the scenes content, early access to the videos, and your name listed in the credits of the video. And hey, if you donate $10 a month, you get your name read out at the end of the video. That's kind of cool, right? All these funds go towards 3D assets, commissions, concept artists, voice actors, and so much more. Become a member today by clicking the join button under this video, or to become a Patreon member, click the link in the description. Oi! A little bit of warning, man! So you wanted a side profile? God, you think I committed a crime or something? Communicating with your team in Nightreign is hard. No, it's not. It's not hard, it's non-existent. It is mind-blowing watching a studio drop a multiplayer game in 2025 without a voice chat or even a text chat. When you are dropping into Limfeld, your first 15 minutes defines your whole run. And when everyone has amazing ideas on how to start, but no real way to communicate it, this game's worst traits begin to show. I cannot tell you how many runs have started with both my party members running off in different directions. If I'm dropping into Limfeld, I have no idea how experienced these other players are. It's launch day, I've played 6 runs, and I have a general feel for the game's flow. Pings are your only means of communication. But how do I explain what I want to do with pings? Hey guys, let's grab a stone key, an upgrading stone from the mine, and let's make our way to the jail. There is a healing flask on the way. Versus ping, 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 ping. Congratulations, my team now hate me because they think I'm an indecisive idiot. Playing with experienced players where they understand the limitations of the ping system, they might be able to comprehend what you're trying to explain. But the fact that a player has to create a new iteration of Morse code just to understand what a teammate wants is insane. Also, what happens if they disagree? They are now going to chain ping their plan. By the time everyone's got a grasp of what we are doing, we have wasted 5 minutes where we could have been killing things, and now we have thrown the run. And you can't leave a run early as you will get penalized. Now, players not listening to you is not always a bad thing. Players running off and doing their own thing can work if everyone knows what they are doing, and can actually lead to a solid run. Instead of everyone killing the same stuff, splitting up and having you all kill different things, where the runes are all shared, can result in you all being higher level in the end. But this is a co-op game, and in this cooperative game, the developers have given you jack shit in order to help you with cooperation. Mobility is a big part of Nightreign's design. There is a new sprinting system, there are vents that can aid with vertical traversal, and trees that can spawn in the battle bus, which can fly you to the opposite end of the map. As the map starts to shrink and the rain starts to eat your ass, these mobility aids are the key to saving your team. It's really cool, and I hate to bring it back to communication, but these trees and vents are going to save you in fast-paced, high-risk scenarios. Not being able to shout out to your team that it's faster to dive deeper into the damaging rain in order to clip the edge of a vent and launch out of the rain is devastating. You have a single player get caught on the second day in the rain and they die, and the run's over for them. They not only lost a level, but also all of their currency. Can you imagine playing Call of Duty and every time you see an enemy, you need to stop moving, open a map, and click the general area where the enemy was in a game that is going at a breakneck speed? Like Elden Ring Nightreign, you don't have time to be standing still. And they made it that standing still is the only way you can try and talk to your fellow teammates. But let's say you're not with randoms. You are with your buddies, you have great communication, and the run's going well, and you finally made it to a Night Lord. All right, lads, we made it. Let's kick his ass. Let's get him, yeah! We got him on the run, boys! once we catch him, we'll rock his shit! I think he's slowing down! Please tell me he's going to stop moving! Oh, for f***'s sake! Elden Ring Nightreign has a boss problem. It's always hard to critique these kind of games considering that a large part of the fan base sees anyone struggling with fights as a get good situation. I am part of this fan base. I sunk 500 hours into Dark Souls 3 on PS4. I have over 300 hours in Elden Ring, and you know what? I gotta say, they're kind of right for the most part here. The Night Lords are a lot of fun, and the only real way to get shagged by them is to be underleveled. Their fights for the most part feel fair, their choreography for attacks never feels manipulative, their designs are amazing, and it feels like there is a boss made for everyone. As long as you're a ranged character, that is. My problem with the bosses isn't that they are hard. My problem is that they all waste your time, and it isn't always their fault. Tricephalus is a really cool boss that splits into 3 separate enemies on occasion, and he is always keeping you on your toes. And I mean that literally. Many of his attacks keep you at a distance, and once he is done, he is always pouncing onto one person at a time. Now, a lot of this critique that I'm about to put forth is built on the foundation of technically the party's fault. Bosses love to dive hard onto players, and because half the cast is range oriented, players like to hover at the very edge point of their weapon's range, so that bosses' attacks can't land. What results from this though is bosses locking onto ranged characters instinctively due to the amount of hits they are landing, and they dive on them, resulting in every melee fighter having to sprint after the boss consistently. And even when you catch them, a lot of the bosses have lunge attacks that put them at a distance. But why is this the case? Well, the arena is massive, and because of this, the bosses are designed in a way that if they need to close the gap, they can. It feels like a vicious feedback loop that starts with the map size. Because the arena is so big, players can stand far away and still land attacks. Because of this massive gap, all bosses have lunge attacks in order to close this gap. Because of these lunge attacks being so fast, ranged players try and stand further back in order to better see the lunge attacks coming, which results in more lunging, which results in more running, which results in more running that contradicts the other runners. Ranged players are trying to make space, whilst melee characters are trying to close the gap. Melee, in turn, are not landing hits, which means they cannot take the aggro in order to fix this problem. There is a way to fix this. Just have your ranged players run away and make space from bosses towards the melee characters. But guess what? I can't tell the fucking archer to do that because there is no voice chat. So you're just stuck chasing the boss because someone else wanted to keep a distance. Gaping Jaw dives like a nutcase. Sentient Pest has the Scorpion burrowing towards players and showing off his new girlfriend. Fisher in the Fog, whilst not chasing players, has the dragon constantly flying away. Equilibrious Beast can off. Night Aspect rushes with a dash and buggers off to Aura Farm every 30 seconds. Tricephalus thinks the Recluse is a chew toy and runs after them, #same. Dark Drift Knight has the zoomies, and Augur is Augur. The whole fight is running after them until it's bedtime. All of these bosses are really, really cool visually and are fun to fight when you can catch them. Like I said, this isn't really the boss's fault. It's players making too much space, which results in the bosses doing the same. If you have a band of all melee, you're in for a grand old time. The boss is, for the most part, present outside of its phases, and you're never running more than a few meters because the boss doesn't have to lunge as far to get to another player. Ranged characters, however, break the flow of the boss's spacing and unravel the bosses into a game of tag. The simplest way to fix this is to make the arena smaller. Don't allow players to be 30 meters away from the boss. I understand that the scale and size of these bosses is massive, and you want that to be present in the level design, but okay, you know what? Hold on. What level design? This is a flat field of sand. It's sand for days. I don't really care for the lore explanation. All of these bosses should have had their own location and themed arena. A realm where they descend from. Imagine if you fought the Equilibrious Beast in a temple full of false gold. Tricephalus in a burning downtown that attempted to tame them. Or the Frost Dragon in the snowy mountains. In fact, you could even implement environmental elements to these boss fights that prevent players from being spread out, that that mimics the rain closing in Limveldt. For the beast, have large towering pillars of gold slowly falling and piling around the arena. The longer the fight goes on, the more gold falls and slowly starts to shrink the map, forcing players into close quarters combat with Equilibria's beast, making it easier for him to stack madness on you. You could also make it that players, if they want, can have some risk reward in knocking the gold towers over themselves, intentionally shrinking the map, but knocking the gold towers over towards the beast to cause him to take damage and stagger. The environment is shifting and it's resulting in the gameplay changing accordingly, just like Limveldt and the encroaching rain. For Tricephalus, make it you're in a large wooden town that's been completely smashed flat to the ground, where the outlining of the arena is a blazing fire caused by the boss, and the fire very slowly starts to encroach on the players. Allow Guardian's skills and ultimate to push back the fire just a little bit, offering the Guardian's kit some extra kick whilst fighting this specific boss. If you take too long killing the boss, the wood that the players are standing on will become ablaze too. The arena is shrinking and there is a damaging effect, just like the damaging rains of Limveldt. For the Frost Dragon, let's have a little bit of fun. The dragon in its current fight has players run up to large stone pillars in order to hide from the dragon's freezing breath. If you get behind the pillars will take the blow and break. However, these pillars manifest out of nowhere for the players and it's kind of jarring. Have it that the arena is set in the snowy mountains with 3 sets of stone pillars present in the arena. Have it that once the dragon has used its freezing breath attack 3 times, there are no pillars to hide behind, forcing players into being more aggressive in the boss fight, because if the dragon is able to cast its breath a 4th time, it will spell an end for the team. This will also allow Raider to shine, as he can cast his ult as a makeshift pillar, but he won't regenerate his ult in time for a 5th. Not only would specialized arenas for bosses make bosses more memorable, but it would also offer the opportunity to allow environmental interactions during boss fights, whether they be all-rounders like the gold pillars, or more character-oriented interactions like the Guardian's wind pushing the fire back, or Raider's pillar blocking the dragon's breath. As it currently stands, bosses are fun, but once you fought all 8, there really isn't anything encouraging you to go back specifically for bosses. No fun raid mechanics outside of Equilibria's beast, no unique environments, and the only interactable environment spawning out of nowhere. It all feels very samey, and that's where another big problem with Nightreign arises. Repetitiveness in roguelikes is not new, but I have never seen it this bad before. This is in no way to say that Nightreign is a bad game, like at all. I love the game and it is a lot of fun, but once you've played your 10th run, everything kind of feels the same. It's the same enemies, the same bosses, and somehow it's even the same weapons. Your character comes proficient with a specific set of weapons. Sure, there are hundreds of weapons in the game, but if you aren't maining a character for their abilities, more often than not, the game is offering you gear that you cannot use, which puts you in a repetitive loop. Oh cool, a weapon that's useless. Oh cool, a weapon that doesn't scale with me. Oh cool, a weapon that doesn't...
Move the coolant to the medical bay. We are behind schedule as it is.
Sir,
What?
identify ship requesting access to the Harbinger's landing bay.
What? Surround the landing bay. Now! Exit your ship or be destroyed. General Acheron, welcome aboard the Harbinger, my lord. I was not expecting an audience, so...
Show me your progress.
What the fuck? Sorry, let's carry on. The fact of the matter is, if the game isn't giving you something specific, you're going to go through the repetitive motions of letdown as the run carries on. And where it does feel good to finally find a weapon that scales off your character's base stats, there are only so many of that weapon type in the game. So you'll usually notice after your 10th run that you're using the same 3 to 4 weapons over and over again. Guardian has special relics that amplify halberd attacks, which result in Guardians most of the time seeking out halberds. While I do like the idea of characters specializing in weapon types, I would have preferred the game stick to its roots of letting players use whatever they would like, with maybe the altered idea of not having to worry about scaling. It's a roguelite. Let players feel powerful in any way they would like. And sure, you can use any weapon you would like, but you're going to see some seriously poor performance as a raider if you're using a dagger, or the Duchess if you're using a colossal sword. This game was marketed as having bosses from many of FromSoft's games, which left me shocked and confused when I opened the game and saw no weapons from Dark Souls 2 or 3. It's just an Elden Ring asset flip with maybe 4 or 5 bosses from the Souls games. And that's really disappointing. The only new content in the game are the player characters and the Night Lord bosses. And we all knew it was going to be an asset flip from the get-go, and I have no problem with that. It's priced accordingly. But I did expect more. After 10 runs, you will notice you are grinding out the same mini bosses on a loop, and the game loses its charm fast. Sometimes the game will treat you to a new variant of the map. There is a new biome and it offers you a cool little objective, but the rest of the tasks and locations are still all the same. I loved the snowy mountains and the rot forest was a blast, but having this little variety in bosses is very disappointing, especially when all of them are things we've already done before years ago. But you know what? I will look past all of it. Literally everything that I have talked about in this video, I can look past all of it, because the real problem with this game is nothing that we've talked about so far. You want to know why this video is called a painful critique? It's because of one thing. One single thing that ruins this entire game, and that stupid, idiotic thing is you! Playing with 2 randoms in Nightreign is kind of like pushing a boulder up a hill as a team. Only one teammate keeps throwing himself under the boulder, and the other thinks they can make the boulder lighter by smashing their head into it. Elden Ring Nightreign players are morons out to ruin my life. They have no sense, no logic, and during bath time they should all get familiar with a toaster. This game is amazing, it's wonderful, and it's always someone else ruining everything. Every single run ends and it's the same shit. Let's start with the goal of the game, killing enemies so that we can level up. Every single run, all I'm seeing is my teammates running past enemies so they can rush the bosses. Fuck! Small enemies will drop 800 to 1,400 runes each. Whilst I'm running to senseless objectives that my teammates have picked, I'm walking past groups and picking up 2,000 runes a pop. Meanwhile, my teammates just ran past everything. 180 enemies killed in total. I'm 110 of them. 155 enemies killed. I'm 106 of them. That's double whatever the fuck the is doing. 164 enemies killed. How many did my teammates kill? 41. Me? 117. The other guy did 46. Both of these guys were attacking the same little dudes together. We only hit level 14 and 15 because of me. Rescued. Fuck! Double triple bar revived.
10 seconds later.
What are you doing? I feel like a crazy person. Someone goes down and my other teammate, like clockwork, just pretends the boss isn't real and turns their back to them and starts swinging madly on a 3-bar revival. You see, what I do is I see a 3-bar revival and keep fighting the boss until my ult is ready, and then I use it to get them up. What does my teammate do when they see a 3-bar revival? They make it a trend. Teammates picking fights with bosses they can't beat as the rain is pressing down on us. Teammates ignoring squishies because they don't give power-ups. Teammates shitting their pants when someone goes down because they don't want the boss to be their responsibility. Teammates getting greedy and running into the rain and getting themselves killed on the second night, which means that they are underleveled, and now which means that they just threw the run that was going perfectly. If you've played this game and you love it, I know for a fact that you are going through the same shit. And you know what? It's going to be okay, okay? It's going to be fine. Elden Ring Nightreign is wonderful. It's amazing, and I'd highly recommend it. And I don't say that very often on this channel. But you need to understand that everyone is out to ruin your time. It does not matter how hard you are carrying your team. If they don't put the work in, you'll be underleveled, outclassed, and you're going to have a bad time. Which honestly, aren't FromSoft games always just the best kind of bad time? Maybe the real Nightreign were the friends we raised along the way. Also, the Nameless King can get fucked. Why are you here? I left you in 2016. Why are you here to ruin my life again? If you've made it here to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching all the way through. I bet you weren't expecting another video from me so soon, but there's this rare condition I have called unemployment, which has been plaguing me recently, so I've had more time to really focus on the channel. If you'd like to support me with what I do and make me a little bit less unemployed, be sure to pledge on Patreon or join as a YouTube member. A big thank you to everyone whose name is on the screen, but an even bigger thank you to Papa Sun, The Lonely Shepard, Astral Phoenix, Fancy Feet with 3s instead of E's, The Superstorm 49, Coffee.pot.cat, Ghost X22774, Call of Mutts, Videopar 97, Sneaky, IR Awesome, Engine and Tonic TM, Eugene Marshall, Jake DeSnake 0902, Kai Brown, Discellanius, Snowbird, Mr. Cabbages, Pyre, Orathon 3D, Kimari, the Superstorm 49 again. Okay, this next name, I'm so sorry if I pronounce this wrong. Unikov or Unikov, I apologize. And Call of Mutts again, because Call of Mutts didn't like that the Superstorm 49 got 2 shoutouts in the last video, and he wanted 2 as well. So thank you all for your support. The next video is going to be a little bit further away, say 2 months, but in that time, I'm going to be doing pre-production for Mafia: The Old Country and a Borderlands 4 video. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!